Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So tonight was Clash of Champions. It was AJ Styles defending against Jinder Mahal. We had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting for their careers against Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. We had a Lumberjacks match. I kept saying Lumberjills all week, but according to WWE.com and the commentators tonight, it was a quote-unquote Lumberjacks match. We had an amazing Fatal 4-Way match for the SmackDown Live Tag titles and some other matches as well. So let's just start running down the card. Before we get started, got to give some love to our sponsors, Strong Style Brand. Go to Strong Style Brand's website, link in the description below. And you can get a lot of cool t-shirts. They have hats, they have shoes, they have flags, they have lapel pins. And if you use promo code PWUnlimited at checkout, you will get 10% off of your purchase. Also, go check out WrestleCrate. WrestleCrate gives you a great assortment of mystery items in a little box every single month to, help out the fans that want some cool items. You'll get a t-shirt, you always get a DVD, an action figure of some sort, an autograph. They have two different boxes, one for $14.99 and another one for $29.99. I know this month's, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I saw that this month's box is going to be a Christmas-themed box, which is pretty cool. We will be doing an unboxing on that next week, I believe, when we do receive it in the mail. But if you go to WrestleCrate.com and use promo code PWUnlimited at checkout, you'll get WrestleCrate for 10% off of your purchase. So go check them out as well. So we had the kickoff show. It was a whatever match. It was Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder. Mojo Rawley pretty much was in control of most of the match, and he defeated Zack Ryder. So we go to the main card, and the show starts off with Baron Corbin defending the United States Championship against both Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. So you're going into the match, and you think, I guess Baron Corbin's just gonna retain the championship. Oh boy, were we wrong. Like, everybody expected Baron. So, Roode came out. Ziggler came out and did the whole no music entrance thing. Baron Corbin came out, and they started having an okay match. Corbin had control. Well, at first, they double-teamed on Baron Corbin. Then Corbin got control for a little bit on Bobby Roode. Made a comeback, hit a blockbuster for a 2. Ziggler then attacked Roode and caught him with a Fameasser, but Corbin broke it up. Corbin then ripped off his shirt for some odd reason. I still don't understand why. Whatever. So later on in the match, Ziggler actually countered a glorious DDT into a jumping DDT of his own for a near fall. Roode sent Corbin out of the ring, countered a super kick into a glorious DDT, but Corbin pulled Roode out of the ring so he couldn't get the pin. Corbin then pushed Roode back into the ring and went for the end of days, but Ziggler caught them from behind and hit Corbin with a zigzag and then got the win, pinning Baron Corbin. Ziggler, new United States champion. That was pretty crazy. Like, I did not expect that. The crowd was not expecting that, because by their reaction, they were like, they kind of cheered, but they were like unsure if they should cheer. It was a weird reaction. So we go backstage. You have Daniel Bryan, and he's holding up a referee shirt, and he tells the production guy, "Hey, go give me another shirt, please. This one's a little too big." He said it was made for someone like an earthquake. Whew, it wasn't that big, Daniel. So Shane McMahon jumped in, and he was like, "Hey, my shirt, mine fits fine. Don't worry about me." And he was wearing one of those Shane McMahon referee jerseys. Shane said he wanted to know what was up with Bryan, why Bryan put himself into the match. Bryan said Shane could be a little bit of a hothead, and he just wanted to protect the match and make sure everything was called straight down the middle. Shane wanted to know what Daniel's plan was, and Daniel goes, "You know what? Maybe we should talk somewhere where it's a little more private." And then that was really all for that segment. Dasha Fuentes then caught up with Baron Corbin backstage, and she was like, "Baron, what's going on? You couldn't cash in your Money in the Bank. You've now lost the United States Championship. Are the fans right when they say you're squandering opportunities?" And Corbin just tossed his trash can in anger and said Ziggler was going to pay for stealing my championship. Okay, whatever. So then we had the Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, and this was a little weird at first. It was the Usos defending against Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, Rusev and Aiden English, and then Big E and Kofi Kingston of the New Day. So we go into the match, and you think, all right, 2 guys are going to start, the rest of the teams are going to be on the apron. But last Tuesday, they made a rule saying you can only tag in your own partner. So I was like, what the hell does that even mean? And that was because one member from each team. It was a traditional Fatal 4-Way because one member from each team was legal at all time. 4 men in the ring at once. So because of that, it kind of started off, but we need to talk about what happened before the match even started. So Aiden English was in the ring, and he starts, he says he's going to do a song and everything, and Rusev comes out, and the crowd is just going haywire. Rusev Day, Rusev Day. Like, the crowd was going ballistic. English then started singing the 12 Days of Rusev song. On the 12th day of Rusev, my partner gave to me 12 months of Rusev, 11 Russian medals, 10 Lana's leaping, 9 seconds winning, 8 Aiden songs, 7 boards of breaking, 6 Machka kicks, 5 I don't even know how to say this, 5 Plovdiv kicks, 5 Plovdiv kicks, 4 of the lads 3 hindered gingers, 2 Rusev shirts, and a tag team victory. I kind of botched that, but anyways, I thought it was great because Aiden English and Rusev are like the greatest babyface tag team in wrestling right now. Like, they're the most over tag team in WWE, and they're probably as much over as the damn Young Bucks at this point. So the Usos came out, they were singing some heel song or whatever, and they tried to make it sound like the crowd was chanting with them, but they really weren't. So anyways, it starts out, there's 4 guys in the ring at once. And the match was, okay at start. But halfway through the match, it just started heating up. And Rusev was going crazy. And he had the accolade on Big E at one point. And he was stretching Big E. And it looked like Big E was going to tap out. And then Chad Gable runs in. And he grabs Rusev and just picks him up like he's going to German him. He's just holding him up there. He's holding him up there in the air. And then he just hits him with one of those delayed Germans with a bridge. And only gets a 2 count. It was freaking nuts. Excuse me. Eventually, the Usos come in. They super kick Chad Gable. They super kick him another time. One of the Usos does. The other Uso gets the tag, comes off the top rope with a splash. 1, 2, 3. The Usos do retain the championships, but both Rusev and Chad Gable. I mean, even Shelton Benjamin early on in the match was freaking great. But I think the 2 stars of this match, like the guys that came out even bigger than going into this match, Rusev and Chad Gable. And the Usos even gave props to Chad Gable during their segment on Talking Smack afterwards. They were like, Chad Gable came to play tonight. He was a machine. So, yeah. And I love how during that, it was during those 12 Days of Rusev song where he said 6 Machka kicks. So now there's a thing going on Twitter where fans are trying to get it to where don't call it a super kick when Rusev does it. Call it the Machka kick. I love that. I love that a lot. So we then had the Lumberjacks match. Charlotte Flair defending against Natalya. This was a pretty weird match. All the Lumberjacks got their own entrance. It was, kinda. It was Naomi, Carmella, Tamina, and Lana came out together, and then the Riot Squad came out together. Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. We then had Natalya come out. We then had Charlotte come out. And less than a minute into the match, Charlotte sent Natalya to the outside. Naomi started doing some kicks on her and tossed her back in the ring. Natalya then tossed Charlotte out of the ring. Tamina and Lana attacked Charlotte. Later in the match, all 6 heel women attacked Charlotte outside the ring. This happened several times. Naomi remained on the other side off camera as she was never, involved when they were attacking Charlotte. So when Natalya got sent outside, Carmella simply just shoved her back into the ring, heel helping to heel. This led to Charlotte's comeback. She tried to figure 8, but Natalya kicked her outside of the ring, and Charlotte managed to dive under Ruby Riott. This led to a brawl with everybody outside, and it ended with Naomi hitting a springboard dive on everybody. So then there was a spot where Charlotte was laid out in the ring. Like, she was just laid out in the ring, and Natalya had been thrown out. And so they're all fighting outside. And then you see Carmella grab the Money in the Bank. Carmella is going in like she's going to cash in, and then she gets thwarted. I can't remember exactly who it was that stopped her. She grabs a brief. I think it might have been Natalya. No, it wasn't. Man, now it's going to bug me. I can't remember. I didn't write it down who it was that stopped her, but she looked like she was about to cash in, and then she was stopped. it's going to bug me if I don't remember who it was. If I remember who it was, I'll come back to it. But anyways, so we go back in. Natalya gets back in the ring, and she went for a sharpshooter again, but Charlotte counters it into a figure 8, and she gets the win. Submission victory. Match was not that good. The only positive thing here, there was at one point, all the women, this was, I think, after Carmella tried her cash-in, all the women were fighting outside. Charlotte finally got back and hit one of her moonsaults to the outside off the top rope. But yeah, for the most part, it was not a good match. So then Kayla Braxton goes into the ring and she was like, Natalya, you can't win. What happened? Charlotte beat you again. And then Natalya just goes, Charlotte's using her family's name and her legacy to cut corners. And I'm like, cut corners? How the hell did she cut corners in this match? Natty was the one that kept throwing Charlotte out to the Riot Squad over and over again. So anyways, Natty grabs the mic out of Kayla's hand and she was like, the WWE Universe, you've always been against me. You've always wanted me to fail. The other women in the locker room, they're against me. They want me to fail. So from now on, I'm against them. And if no one's got my back, I don't have their back. I've carried this division. I've carried the SmackDown Live Women's division. And I'm like, okay. And then she like does a lot of fake crying as she gets out of the ring and walks up the ramp. And the camera goes to black. So a lot of people started asking on Twitter, you think Natalya is retiring? You think this is her retirement speech? You think she's done? She's done. I think if the tears were more realistic and more believable, then we could have thought, you know what? She may be retiring right now. But because the tears were so unrealistic here, like the crying was so fake, I don't think this was a retirement thing. But I have heard that when her contract does expire in 2018, because of her husband already being retired, she has talked to people backstage about possibly retiring herself. I don't know exactly when her contract's going to expire, but it does expire sometime in 2018. So then we had like a 2-minute match. We had a commercial saying Renee Young, Sam Roberts talking smack afterwards. Anyways, we had a 2-minute match, Bludgeon Brothers versus Breezango. Now apparently, the Fashion Files are only on WWE.com right now. They're not going to air them on SmackDown anymore. And if you didn't go to WWE.com to watch the Fashion Files, then you wouldn't understand why this match even happened. Apparently, the latest episode of the Fashion Files, only on WWE.com, it kind of revealed that the Bludgeon Brothers were the ones that trashed their office, that were kidnapping them at points during the Fashion Files, and so they asked for this match. And it was a squash match. Like I said, it only lasted maybe 2 minutes. Breezango did get a couple of shots in, but it was literally a couple. Harper and Rowan destroyed Breeze on the outside, like just murdered the guy before they got in the ring with Fandango. And it was like, it's a tag team match. This is what I don't get with these Bludgeon Brother matches. It's a tag team match, but the referee never says anything when they're both in the ring at the same time beating up their opponent. So anyways, they hit a double powerbomb. They hit their crucifix bomb on Fandango, and then that was it. They pinned Fandango. Then they got on the mic and they said, the future holds more bludgeoning, more pain, more fear. The end of the beginning of the end. Harper, Rowan, Bludgeon Brothers. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but hey, whatever. Then they played a commercial saying Brock Lesnar's going to be on Raw tomorrow. Dasha then interviewed Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn backstage. Owens and Zayn said that they know why Bryan made himself the ref. They knew what his reasons were. He was a reasonable person, the only reasonable person on SmackDown. Owens reminded us that Shane can't be trusted as referee. Remember what he did over the summer when he screwed Kevin Owens out of the U.S. title when he was the referee. He said that the Sami and Kevin show isn't going to be canceled anytime soon because they're going to win and the Yep movement lives. Dasha asked, what happens if you lose? And they both got this look on their face like, oh no. Like a scared kind of look almost, and then they just walked off and then we got the match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura with both Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan as the referee. And yes, Daniel Bryan did eventually, before the match started, get a referee shirt that fit. So Shane came out first, got a okay reaction. Daniel Bryan came out, got a huge reaction. Nakamura came out. Crowd loves Nakamura when he does his entrance. Randy Orton then came out, and then Owens and Zayn came out together. And I love when Owens and Zayn come out, because Owens comes out and he's all business, you can tell, and Sammy's just playing up the overly annoying heel, and I love it. And you always have him out there, and he's like over dancing his dance, or if they even make sense, over dancing his dance. Anyways, and you always have him doing his like over the top stuff, and Kevin's always like, okay, let's go, let's do this. He's like trying to calm him down, but hype up Sammy at the same time. It's great. So you go into the match. And the match starts out, you got Daniel Bryan, you got Shane McMahon, and there's the referees, and Daniel's like, 1-1. One needs to be in the ring, one needs to be out of the ring, telling telling Kevin and Sammy who's gonna start, who's not gonna start. And then he goes over to Orton and Nakamura, 1-1, 1-1. Who's gonna start? Only one of you can start. So it starts off Randy Orton and Sami Zayn. Orton tried an early pinfall, but both Shane and Bryan tried to count it. They weren't in sync, but it was only a 2 count anyways. Zayn then comedically sold an uppercut from Orton. Nakamura tagged in, and the crowd started doing dueling chants for Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. So excuse me. At this point on commentary, Corey Graves reminded us that one of the best matches he's ever seen in the WWE was in NXT on Shinsuke Nakamura's first night in the WWE when he took on Sami Zayn. There were a couple of pinfall attempts where Bryan and Shane were again out of sync. I think this was done on purpose because then they argued a little afterwards. They're like, hey, this and that, and this, and you can't really tell exactly what they're saying, but I think they did that on purpose where one would start a little bit like just a smidge sooner or something. And then at one point, there was a spot where Orton went for a roll-up. So Shane went to count 1, 2. Sammy cradled him over, so he got the pin. 1, 2. Daniel counted, and then they rolled back over. Orton had the pin, so Shane counted 1, 2. Then they went back over. Sammy had the pin, counted 1, 2. Daniel, and then finally he kicked out, and they were over that. But I thought it was kind of funny because it's like Shane, he only was counting for Orton. Daniel, he was only counting for Sammy. It was pretty funny. So, after a while, the match spilled to the outside. Owens and Zayn began clearing the announce table. Shane wanted them to stop, but Bryan said, hey, let it go. Not sure if... excuse me. The announcer said Shane accidentally hit Bryan in the eye. I didn't see that, but I heard him say it. I don't know. I guess he was waving stop, 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 and he hit Daniel in the eye or whatever, I guess. That's what the announcer said, but they didn't show it on camera. So they put Nakamura on one of the tables. Kevin Owens got up on the other table and hit a frog splash, sending Nakamura through the table. Orton then followed that up by hitting Zayn with a draping DDT. Orton followed with an RKO, but as Shane went to count the fall, Daniel Bryan was standing in the ring, and Kevin Owens ran in and he knocked over Daniel Bryan. So Shane was counting 1, 2. As he was going down for the 3, that's when Daniel got knocked over. He fell on top of Shane. Shane couldn't count the 3, and Shane just got pissed. Started yelling at Daniel Bryan. The crowd at that moment gasped, like what did we just see? He was mad, yelling at Kevin Owens or at Daniel Bryan. What did you do that for? Why did you break up the count? And so Sami Zayn went for a schoolboy on Orton. Bryan, no, that wasn't it. I'm ahead of myself here on my notes. Anyways, so Shane's yelling at him, whatever, and Sammy goes for the schoolboy, and Shane goes to count 1, 2, and he just leaves his hand up, doesn't even try to go down for 3, and then Daniel starts yelling at Shane, "What are you doing? You got to be impartial referee. You can't just stop counting in the middle of a count and this and that and da-da-da-da." And as they're yelling at each other, Orton goes for an RKO. Sammy reverses it into another schoolboy, and Bryan just boom, 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 1, 2, 3, really fast. And Sammy just gets out of there. Kevin meets him up on the ramp, and they're just yep. I loved the match. It was okay with the 2 referees. Some people said ahead of time, oh, this is going to be horrible with the 2 referees, but they played off Shane and Kevin played off of each other very well, I thought. So in that regard, it was good. The match itself was really good. All 4 guys in the match played their parts perfectly. Nothing was, bad with it. I wouldn't call it the best match of the night, as I believe the best match of the night was that Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. But this was second best match for sure. So we then had the AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against Jinder Mahal. The Singh brothers were at ringside. So we come down, and the match starts off, and it's a normal Jinder match. Starts off a little slow, but it's not too bad. AJ's in there, and it was a lot better than you would assume. Just like the match they had in Manchester, one of Jinder's better matches. During a heat segment during the match, Jinder tossed Styles into the barricade. So there was a spot where they were fighting on the outside. Jinder had control, and Jinder pulls over the timekeeper's area. He pulls the padding off the barricade, and he just throws AJ into it. Like, AJ's running almost as fast as he can. Gut first, flips over. Like, that had to hurt because he hit straight on the steel. And then I think he landed on top of a steel chair as well. Then Mahal got Orton, and he dropped him onto the announce table. They both got back into the ring, and they kind of did like a little spot here where it was like just a rest spot, I guess you could say. It was like a minute or two where there was just rest hold after rest hold. Like, I don't know if maybe Jinder was getting tired and they needed to slow everything down. I don't know exactly, but it kind of pulled you can tell that right there did pull the fans, at least the fans that were in the arena. You can tell it pulled them out a little bit because it was like, why are you just slowing it down? It's not like okay, it's a TV show like a Raw or SmackDown where it's a commercial, so you don't want to do any of your big stuff during a commercial. Well, whatever. So Styles finally gets some offense, makes a comeback, hits a dropkick on Mahal off the top. Styles sets up for the phenomenal forearm, but Mahal knocked him off the apron and to the floor. To the apron. Knocks him off. He was going to hit the forearm off the top rope, and he hit a okay-looking gut buster. Styles then comes back with an electric chair drop, strikes a sliding forearm, and a fireman's carry neckbreaker for 2. I still can't say that move how Corey Graves says it. It's a weird name, fireman's carry neckbreaker. Styles then went for So Jinder's laying on the floor, and then he kind of sits up. So Styles goes for that like low running forearm thing he does, but Jinder got his feet up, and he kicked AJ right in the face. It was a good little spot. He then gets to his feet, picks up AJ, hits him with a Samoan drop, and only gets a 2 count. Jinder then tries to hit the Colossus a couple times, unsuccessful, and AJ finally hits the Pele kick. Jinder kind of blocked it a little and but Mahal countered it into a DDT. He hit a big boot for a 2. Mahal then threw AJ into the corner, got on the top ropes, but AJ got out of that with another Pele kick. So as Jinder's knocked down, AJ goes to the ropes, hits a springboard 450 splash, but he was in too much pain to make the cover. Singh brothers at this time then try to pull Jinder out of the ring. AJ then grabs Jinder's arms. So the Singh brothers are outside the ring, and they got Jinder by the feet. AJ's got him by the arms, and you hear Corey Graves, they're playing tug-of-war with Jinder Mahal. And so AJ says, screw this, and he just jumps and dives over the top rope, knocks out the Singh brothers, takes one of them, and hits a Styles Clash on the outside. Looked kind of brutal. So AJ gets back up on the apron. Mahal ducked a phenomenal forearm, hit a running knee, and a Colossus, but AJ kicked out. The crowd then kind of sighed at this point. It was kind of weird. It's like the fans thought maybe the match should have ended there. I don't know why they would have thought that. Like, it did look like a finish. Like, Jinder hit a nice nice running knee. He hit the Colossus perfectly, went for the pin, and you would think that was the finish, but it wasn't. And the crowd was kind of like I don't know if they gasped or sighed, but they were a little taken back right there. And then, like, from that point on, there was only like 2 minutes left in the match, but they were just kind of out of it. I don't get it. And then finally, Mahal looked like he was going to set it for a Styles Clash. AJ reversed it, got the calf crusher. Mahal tried to fight out for it, didn't get to the ropes in time, and he tapped out in the middle of the ring. And the crowd cheered, but it was just like, I don't know if it was just me. Let me know in the comments, but it was like, after that spot where it looked like Jinder could have won, the crowd was just kind of out of it. Like, we're still going? What? And I don't think, I don't think they expected AJ to win by submission. Especially how he won last time with the phenomenal forearm on Jinder. Maybe they thought he was good. Because he never, like, really hit a good, successful, phenomenal forearm on Jinder during this match. So maybe it was just the fact of they thought maybe he was going to win with that forearm since he didn't really do it earlier in the match. They didn't expect Jinder to tap. And so maybe they just, that just took him out of the match. They didn't expect it to be the finish. And so when it was the finish and they announced AJ as the winner and everything, they were just like, oh, okay. Because that's how it was for me. I didn't think Jinder was going to tap. I thought Jinder was going to get to the ropes. AJ was going to do some setup move for the forearm and then hit the phenomenal forearm and win that way. So, I mean, let me know how you thought, about the finish in the comments below. But like I said, I didn't think it was going to end with a submission. That just kind of came out of nowhere. Especially since as they're announcing AJ Styles retains the WWE Championship, there's still like 15 minutes left in the show. So that's why I was just like, when he's got him in the forearm, I looked at the time and I'm like, there's still like 15 minutes. They can go another 5 minutes in this match. Because the match was only like 22 minutes. So I was thinking, 25-minute match, give him another 3 to 5 minutes. Nope. He just went off the air with 25 minutes or 15 minutes left in the show. They went straight into talking smack. That was it. I mean, it wasn't a great show, but it wasn't a bad show either. It was just a show that had a couple good matches. I'm not going to say that AJ Jinder was bad, but I can't say that it was good because the crowd wasn't into it, and it really just took the fan, the experience of watching it at home. It kind of just took the match down a little bit because the fans, a couple parts were up for the title match, AJ Jinder, like I said, but then there was a lot of it, they were just there. Like, they weren't, I don't know. It was one of those matches where the crowd really took away from the match, and the match was probably better than it came off, to be honest. But like I said earlier, the match of the night had to be that tag team title match. That match was great, especially there. The last half to quarter of the match, just amazing with Rusev and Chad Gable. And yeah, that was about it. There was something I noticed at ringside, though, that I want to hint on. I don't know what this was. There was two of them. There was one, so if you're sitting on hard camera side, front row, hard camera side is meaning the big crane camera is on above you. Right there on the other side of the barricade at ringside, not the side where the seats are, but the other side, there was this weird tripod with a special camera on it. And the camera was always following around, like in the tag team match stuff, whoever was in control of the match. Whoever was the focal point of the match at the time was always following. Always following. And there was another camera right at the end of the entrance ramp closest to the ring. I don't know if this is true. Now, if you're unsure what I'm talking about, I did post a picture of this on Twitter. Now, I don't know if this is what it is. But a couple months back, WWE put out a survey talking about things they could do for the WWE Network. And one was an experience that makes fans feel like they're actually sitting front row for a WWE show, but they're at home watching on the network. So what I think these cameras were a test to see how that actually works. Having special cameras stationary at ringside that would make the fans watching on the WWE Network actually feel like they're sitting front row in the actual arena. And like I said, I can't confirm that that's what these two cameras were for, but that's the only thing I can think of. The way that, if the action's in the ring, it's just looking straight up in the ring, moving a little bit depending on where the guys are in the ring, who's in control of the match, if it's a tag team match or a singles match, whatever. And then I really noticed it during the Owens, Zayn, Nakamura, Orton match. At one point when it was Nakamura and Owens fighting at ringside, and the camera was turned completely to the, I guess you could say the right, facing Nakamura and Kevin Owens. So I don't know if that's what this camera is, if it's like a test to do a first-person perspective kind of thing or not. But if they're testing it, that's awesome. Because when they posted that out in that survey, I thought that was something that was cool. I don't know if you're going to need like those special goggles or whatever, the VR glasses or VR goggles with your phone in. I don't know how it's going to work as far as us getting it on the network. But if that's what it is and they are actually testing it, that's cool. Now, I don't know if, because usually they're, well, no, I was going to say usually, they fight up against the barricade and all around and everything. And they stayed away from those cameras for the most part anyways, but I'm rambling on too much. That was Clash of Champions. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. If you're watching on iTunes, if you're watching somewhere other than YouTube, thank ya. And if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have a good night, guys.